feel like I'm just doing all the talking.
You are.
Hi everybody, my name is Rosalie and welcome back to my channel, Back to Chubby. Good morning everybody. I just wanted to jump in real quick and say that there will be a meal prep video this week, but this video was getting kind of long, so I decided to go ahead and separate the two so you can watch for this video later this week. So today, well, I guess first, if you've never seen my husband on this channel, this is Josh. Hi. My husband. And normally he doesn't like to be on the channel, but we are making a decision today about what gym to join. And I said that this Saturday, which it is Saturday, April 14th, I was gonna make a decision because I've been sort of stalled out for a couple weeks. I have made spreadsheets that compare the cost of a single membership and a couples membership, and if there are any annual fees or membership fees, or if you have to be in a contract, or what the pros and cons are and how far away from the house they are. And I made a separate chart that was about the times that they're open to compare all of those, and most of them have different times for like Monday through Thursday, and then Friday has a different time, and Saturday has a different time, and Sunday has a different time. There are 5 gyms in Emporia. One of them I very quickly eliminated, and that was the Emporia State University Rec Center for a couple different reasons. It's actually would be the least expensive option for us, but there were several different limitations. The first of which is that I would have a membership and he would be my guest on a guest membership, but even with the guest membership, he would only be able to go with me. I mean, I think mostly we plan on going at the same time anyway, but if he ever did want to go, or if I was out of town, or if there was a class he wanted to take, he wouldn't be able to do any of that without me. Another thing is, I work at that university and I don't want to go back to work out, or not leave work to work out. I don't want it to just be another, I just don't want to. I also don't want to work out alongside other students. It just would be kind of awkward, and I'm sure they don't want instructors and staff there working with them either. And I've been in there plenty of times. I know what it's like in there. I didn't really even have to go in. I know what equipment they have. I know the layout. Most of the weight rack, for example, is usually taken up by the football guys, and it's just, nah, that's not gonna happen. So then we went around today to the other 4 places, and we went inside and looked around. I didn't film too much because I wouldn't want someone filming me without my permission. And it just felt kind of awkward. So, okay, the first place we went was Emporia Fitness. In my last video, someone mentioned in the comments about the dressing rooms, like there's separate shower stalls and stuff there, which is nice. And we went in and they were very friendly, and they gave us a couple different pieces of information, all of the membership fees, the facility hours, all of the class offerings and descriptions of the classes, the fee breakdowns and how you can get different, how you can get different discounts. And they have some cool amenities that don't really matter for us, like they have a daycare built in, stuff like that. They were really nice, and they gave us a little tour around, and the only real drawback for that one, for me, is that sometimes it can get really busy. It seems to be like just driving past one of the most busy places as far as gyms go here in Emporia. But on the other hand, that means it must be pretty nice, right? I mean, people like it, and there's no contract, there's no annual fee, there's no membership. Well, I mean, there's a monthly fee, but there's no like upkeep fee or anything. Also, through Josh's work, we could get an extra $10 discount. So there's a corporate discount because his work has partnered with them, and then if we join, his work offers another incentive where they'll pay $10 of that, and it would just get direct debited from
my paycheck,
from his paycheck, so we would never even have to worry about it. So that's a good option, and that was probably what I was leaning towards most when we started today, so that's where we actually started. Next, we went to the Emporia Rec Center, not to be confused with the Emporia State Rec Center. The Emporia Rec Center is for the city of Emporia, and it would be our next least expensive option. It's a little bit smaller, and there's less of each kind of machine. and the layout can be a little bit confusing. There is a pool, but the times when I would be able to use it are kind of limited because it's taken up most of the time with different classes. And so a lot of the times when it's open, I'd be at work, or I'd have to make myself get up at like 5 or 6 in the morning, which is kind of hard for me. They also close earlier than the others in town. We went by Genesis. When I was talking to a lot of people recently, because I've been thinking about this for weeks, asking people who went or have gone or go to Genesis, most of them actually really like it. On the flip side of that, I've heard a lot of horror stories about Genesis, especially about like trying to get out of a contract or still being charged after your contract ended, and then them trying to charge you a fee because your contract auto-renewed even though you ended the contract, or signing up for a 30-day membership and then them going ahead and charging you before that 30 days is even up. Just a whole bunch of weird stuff like that. And for the most part, thinking about closing and opening times, it has the most availability. It's close to our house, it's close to where I work, it's also close to where I grocery shop. So if I hadn't gone in a while and I went like grocery shopping, I'd be like, I should really go. But I mean, Emporia's not that big. Pretty much anywhere I drive, I'd be driving past one of the gyms, right?
Maybe not the rec center.
Yeah, maybe not the rec center, but I guess we'll talk more about pros and cons in a second. And I was kind of mad about how nice it was. But it's the only place in town that will lock you into a 2-year contract. It's the most expensive place in town, and there's an annual fee on top of it. So it's annually probably at least double, if not triple, what we would pay anywhere else in town. And we'd be stuck with it. The nice thing about these other gyms is even if we do choose one and after like a month we're like, it's just really not working out, we can try another one for a month. Whereas with Genesis, you're stuck with Genesis. And the last place we tried was this place called E247, which is, when I first started thinking about it, I was thinking I'm gonna get that one because it's open literally 24/7. But I think it was sort of eliminated from our choices. There are some cool classes that both of us would like to do there, like boxing and self-defense and stuff like that. But it's been pretty hard to get any information from it. And there's some things that make me think maybe they're not doing so well and they're gonna close anyway soon. They haven't renewed their website domain. Trying to get in touch with someone through Facebook took several days. I was only able to find the prices for a single person, not a double person. We went by there today and their sign had been taken down. So there were still people in there, but from the outside it looked like it wasn't doing too hot. And just sort of the difficulty trying to get information and trying to get a hold of people is just making me a little bit leery of it, I guess you could say. And it's also one of the smallest places, and there's only on-street parking, and it's right next to the most popular restaurant in town, so there's hardly ever parking. And when we went by today, I was still gonna go inside and look around or ask if we could look around. There's only someone there on site Monday through Friday, so someone will only help sign you up Monday through Friday, so.
And only for a couple hours.
Right, and only for a couple hours, so it was like 4 to 7 or something. I was like, maybe this just isn't meant to be. So what did you think about them overall?
Which one?
Well, let's start with the ESU Rec Center.
I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
We'd gone several times before.
Yeah.
Especially while we were still in college. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't enjoyable then.
Yeah.
So you couple it with the fact that we're older now.
Yeah.
It's just not something that seems like a good deal.
Yeah.
So.
The E247.
Well, like you said, they have a lot of classes that would be pretty cool. They have the 24-hour access, which again could be beneficial, but on that same token, I tend to go to sleep fairly early now, and don't like to get up early.
That me either.
So,
I don't go to sleep early, but I don't like to get up early either because I was up late.
Now, granted, on the weekends, that would be beneficial. We'd have all day that we could go. There wouldn't be some worry about whether or not they're open. But there's not a lot of info. There's not a lot of assistance to get the information. I think the biggest thing is that it doesn't look like it'll be open for much longer.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be doing well.
But if you're thinking about doing, like, trying a place for a month or something like that, if that's one that you want to try, then we could start with that.
That's true. But if I'm not even going to be able to get in touch with anybody until Monday, and even then I'm going to have to like get in touch with them through Facebook. And I know some people are like, you're probably not going to work out at 2 a.m. I don't know what to tell you. The last time I decided I wanted to go for a walk, it was 4 a.m. So like if I were to go in by myself, and if someone else were to come in and they were to use their key and something happened to me, there's a record of who was in the building. So there's always a record of who is in there, which is sort of a safety measure just because there's not always staff in there. But there seems to be staff in there a fairly limited amount of time, so I don't know how well upkept it is or how clean it is. I can't even go in and look.
Yeah, that's the other big worry, is you can't even take a tour unless it's during that 3-hour window.
Yeah. And so most of the other places we went in, and we just went in and said, hey, we're looking for a gym. Can we sort of look around? And they're like, yeah. Do you want us to show you around? And we'd be like, yeah. Great. Well, if I can't get in touch with anybody, I don't know what classes they have. I mean, I know what they say they have, but there's no schedule I can find. And they change fairly regularly from what I could see. I don't know. It just seems sort of weird. Yeah. So ESU Rec Center is out. E24/7, whatever.
I'd say it's out.
I'd say it's probably out for right now. I mean, I might try it in the future if it seems like they
get it together.
They're like presenting themselves in a more professional fashion, I guess you could say. I just wasn't getting a good feeling about it. The Emporia Rec Center.
So the Emporia Rec Center did look well kept up. It was fairly clean. It has the pool. There's a lot of different equipment that we could use, things like that. Walking laps around the basketball courts, all sorts of stuff. I think my biggest issue is just like you wouldn't want to be around your students, I don't want to be around my clients. Yeah. And they would most likely be at the rec center. Yeah. There's a lot of, I mean, even just today we went and there was another case manager there, and a bunch of kids. It's probably the most kid heavy place, which would be great if we also had kids. There'd be people for them to play with and stuff, but we don't. There is the pool. We'd only be able to use it certain times, and the pool is also something you can just go in and pay like $1 or $2 for on the day you want to use it. So if I only wanted to go swim laps once a week, I could just pay $2 a week and go do that. I wouldn't have to have a membership there. Also, to me, it was clean. It was smaller. There was only one of each machine, it seemed like, and the layout was a little bit confusing. So like some of the stuff is upstairs, some of it's downstairs. Trying to find the stairs is weird. I've been in the locker room there, and that's actually the place where way earlier in the year I was doing like an arthritis swim class. I did it there, and the people seemed pretty nice, but it seems like it's also hard to find someone on staff. So like when we went in today, there was nobody at the front desk. The front desk was closed. And there's sort of like a little controller office where you usually check in and say like, I'm here to do a class, and they'll mark it off of your punch card, or basically like your running tally of how many of those classes you've used. When I would go for my class, it was like 3 times a week at the same time every week. I could not tell you the pattern of when there was someone there and when there wasn't. And I think a lot of it is that they're working probably with college students and high school students who work part-time, and so I understand that it's got to go around their class schedule. I totally get that, especially because they're like a community organization and it's one of the least expensive in town. But because it is one of the least expensive in town, it's also really busy. Yesterday it was 82 degrees here in Emporia. Today it's snowing. So it's sort of a cold, windy, blustery day here.
And we went to Emporia Fitness, and there was some people there, but it wasn't packed. And we went to the rec center, and it was packed. And also they do things like throw birthday parties at the rec center, and they hold events and stuff at the rec center, which I think is great for the community. I don't want to go try and work out around a special event schedule, though, personally.
No.
I think it's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out. So E24/7 is out. The Emporia State Rec Center is out, and the Emporia Rec Center is out. So that left us with Genesis and Emporia Fitness. What do you think?
Well, Emporia Fitness has some neat looking classes. It's got some equipment that isn't at the other place. Mm-hmm. What are they called? The fitness ropes or whatever?
Yeah, the fitness ropes, suspension training, an adult jungle gym.
Which I would be into.
Yeah.
The downside, obviously, is that one's busy a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. No classes at all on the weekend. Hours-wise, they're pretty comparable then. I didn't really look in the locker room.
I didn't really look either. I mean, the locker rooms at Genesis were nice. Mm-hmm. The locker rooms at Genesis were actually really nice. And there was also a sauna in Genesis in the locker room. I mean, come on.
Do you like a sauna?
I like a sauna. So we didn't go in the ones at Emporia Fitness, but the locker rooms aren't really my first concern.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of benefit to the Emporia Fitness, especially being that you can do monthly payments as opposed to getting locked into a contract.
Right. So at Emporia Fitness, it'd be $43 a month, just direct deposit or directly pulled out of Josh's check. And then we can cancel it anytime. There's no annual fee, no upkeep fee, and no contract. And at Genesis, there's a sign-up fee, a monthly fee, an annual fee, a cancellation fee if you get out of it before the 2 years are up. And we'd also have to have it like pulled out of our bank account, which is fine. But I just don't like being locked into that.
I also don't like the idea of them having access to our bank account.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Just because I've heard so many people, dozens of people, talk about Genesis still pulling money when they shouldn't, or before they should, or extra, or charging them fees they didn't know anything about.
But sauna.
It does have a sauna. Okay, another thing though, like talking about the classes, like Emporia Fitness doesn't have classes on the weekends, but it does have some classes that we would both like to take. One thing that sort of bothered me about this was that this is just the April class schedule, so I don't know how often their classes are going to change. And they do have some classes on the weekends. They're not classes I would take though. When I walked in and like talked to the people there, the Genesis people were friendly, but I felt like the Emporia Fitness people were more friendly and less like, yes, I'll just talk you through it and walk you through it really fast and I'm busy. Mm-hmm. And also more like, I'm here to help you out.
They were more sincere.
Yeah, and they were also more like, feel free to look around afterwards. It was a lot less sales pitchy. And it just seemed a little bit more laid back, but also more helpful. Like less in your face there, but more there for you.
Less corporate.
Yeah. And also I mean, if I can, I like to support local places above corporate places. It really just sort of bothered me how nice Genesis was. And I know part of the reason it's nicer is because people pay more for it.
I think one of the other things, though, is Emporia Fitness, you have to pay extra for the personal trainers, but Genesis, you get a few sessions with the personal trainer with the membership.
Yeah. You get 4 free personal training sessions at Genesis. And Emporia Fitness does offer personal trainers, but you've got to pay them. But I think it's a pretty small fee. But Emporia Fitness also has physical therapists on staff. And I've got a lot of knee problems and some hip and ankle problems, but mostly my knee problems are what I'm worried about. Josh has a bad shoulder and a bad back, and I think having them on staff would be nice. So that was the other thing, is these are the only 2 places that offer personal trainers. And for a long time, I've always thought, like, I don't need a personal trainer. I mean, I know how to work out, right? I used to do it all the time. Well, yeah, but it's been a while, and I want to make sure I'm doing it right. I want to make sure that I have something that's designed for all the problems I have. So, like, if I think that this machine's going to be fine, and they're like, no, if you've got knee problems, we don't want to do that, then I would like to know that. And so we were sort of talking about the merits of possibly getting a personal trainer. So at Genesis, there's sort of a chance to use the free ones and figure out if it's for you or not. But I mean, here you could just set up a couple appointments.
Well, I think one of the big things is, like, they would be able to ease us back into it. Because otherwise, we're going to go in there and try and do what we used to do and hurt ourselves.
Yeah. I've talked before on this channel that I have a really bad habit of doing that. When I start trying to work out again, I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this. I could do all kinds of stuff. And my body can't anymore. It can't do the things it used to do. And I keep hurting myself, or I try and do too much too fast, because I remember what I used to be able to do, what I used to lift, like how fast I used to be able to run.
Yeah.
And
we're both pretty stubborn.
Yeah.
So we'll end up doing it, and then even when it starts hurting beforehand, we'll do it until the end, and then be sore and beat up and hurting, and then drop off of exercising afterwards.
Yeah. Like being sore, like workout sore is one thing. Being sore because like your IT band syndrome has flared up is a different kind of pain. And I think that's what he's talking about.
Not being able to get out of bed because my back is thrown out.
Yeah. Not just like workout sore, but like in pain because of an injury that's flared up sore. One of the things that you brought up was that it might motivate you a little bit to have a personal trainer.
Yeah, because I do better with exercise and staying motivated to do anything, really, if I have someone else there, someone else to interact with and to keep me on track.
I don't know that I do. I think I'm kind of like, don't talk to me, I can do it. But that might be part of a problem for me. And I haven't really worked with a personal trainer in a long time. So the last personal trainer I worked with was in high school, and he was more of a physical therapy specialist. I'm sure I'd be frustrated if there was someone there trying to encourage me or saying, do 1 more, do 2 more, you can do it. I'd probably be like, you don't know me, don't tell me what I can and can't do, and feel like I was dying, but I probably just need that push. I would like to try it. I'd like to try having a physical trainer. I would like to try having a personal trainer at least for a couple times, or if nothing else, I would like to work with them like 2 or 3 times to make sure I'm doing the right things on the right machines or using the right form, and then do it myself for a while. And then when I feel like I'm getting more into that, maybe have them on for another couple sessions to revamp the workout that I've been doing, reaccommodate, etc.
So, when you are supposed to sign up for a physical or a personal trainer, they always ask you the big question, like, what are you looking to gain from this?
Yeah.
I figure that it's something along the lines of like getting stronger or something like that. Like, I wonder how many people go in and just say, I just want to be able to breathe when I walk down the street.
I can talk without getting out of breath, or I can walk without getting out of breath. I can't do the same, like both of them at the same time, which is kind of sad. There was some equipment that Emporia Fitness had that Genesis didn't have. Genesis had a lot more machines, but it was like
the same
triple the amount of treadmills that Emporia Fitness has. It feels like everybody's going to Genesis, and everybody's like, it just seems very commercial, and I don't know. I don't know what my problem is with it. I just feel really resistant to it. I just don't want to go to Genesis. I don't know why. I just don't want to. But then we went in there and it was really nice and I was really mad about it.
I think the biggest drawback when it comes to Genesis is the cost, the money association, and the financial portion of it is what really is the detractor for Genesis.
And I guess, okay, I want to say this because I feel like there's probably someone who's had this thought. It's not that I am thinking I don't want to be locked into a contract because I plan on stopping going to a gym once I start. We have been on a month-to-month cable plan with a company that sucks here in Emporia for like 5 years because I don't want to be locked into a contract at a better place. It's just how I am. I don't know why.
That's the thing, like, if you're in a contract, you're expected to pay every single month, and if something happens, you don't have the freedom to pick and choose, okay, I can't afford to keep doing this, or I can't afford to keep doing that.
Yeah. Like, for example, I've shared with you guys that my position right now is a temporary, depending on how it goes, trial basis position. Once my contract is up during the summer, there's no guarantee I'll even have a job there next semester. So, like, while we're doing okay right now, I'm not going to bank on that.
But sauna.
Yeah, but they do have a sauna. For some reason, the idea of saying Genesis to me doesn't feel good. And part of me just wants to trust my gut and say Emporia Fitness.
Well, I think the most important thing is to choose one and get started. So
I feel like as the video's gone on, you've just sort of gotten lower and lower. Like, nuh-uh.
It's not a thing.
Your knees are like way out
Shut
there.
up. I'm fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine. Well, I mean, that being said, Emporia Fitness is a month-to-month thing. We could start there.
Yeah.
And then if we decide that we want a bigger commitment, or, you know, we start hearing better things about Genesis, we could switch over.
Oh, I think Genesis has like a 7-day trial. If I were to sign up for that 7-day trial, you give them all of your information. It's like you cancel it before the end of the 7 days, or they charge you. You know, like when you sign up for like a free trial of Hulu, you enter in all of your credit card information, and if you forget to cancel, you're getting charged. It's kind of the same thing. I don't know. We've been talking through this for like an hour. This is gonna be a nightmare to edit. What do you want to do?
Let's go with Emporia Fitness.
Is it just because I keep being grumpy about Genesis? Or is that your gut feeling?
That'd be closer to my gut feeling. And if Emporia Fitness did something like that, it's a month-to-month, so we can stop.
Yeah. Also, like I said, I'm always more about like local businesses if I can, and I know Emporia Fitness is like owned and operated here locally. My gut tells me Emporia Fitness.
Fair enough.
And if at the end of the month we don't like it, we can do something different. But I say Emporia Fitness, I say, let's go sign up.
Right this second?
Yes, right now.
I'm so lazy.
I know.
All right, fine.
Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go sign up for Emporia Fitness.
I gotta get up.
Put your shoes back on.
I
haven't taken my shoes off because I told you.
Because you knew this was happening.
I told him I'm joining a gym today.
nothing.
I said I am joining a gym tomorrow. I said that last night. It's happening.
Are we gonna work out today?
I have on a sports bra and tennis shoes and stuff.
You didn't say any of this.
Well, I assumed I'm joining a gym today. I'm gonna start.
But it's Saturday. It's my day off.
Tell you what, you come with me to join up because they're gonna have to ask for information for your job, and then you can just leave me there to work out, and you come back here.
But that's the other thing. All right, we'll do it.
We're doing it. Ta-da!
Jazz hands.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you.
I'm really actually kind of impressed that both my phone battery and the memory on my phone have lasted this long. So
That's fair. 54 minutes of talking about this?
after thinking about it for like 3 weeks, also running around to look at all of them earlier, and then talking about it for like an hour in the car, I should have just been like, my gut says this one. We're doing this one. We're gonna go sign up. I just panicked for a second. I thought it hadn't been recording this whole time.